Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Eagle Field Live here at Georgetown High School. And it is the start of district baseball here in the 2025 UIL baseball season. Georgetown comes in tonight 3-6-1 overall after two tough tournaments on the road, one in San Antonio, one up in the Dallas area, playing some tough teams and some good competition, hanging well with a lot of those competitions. And so some good things for this Georgetown Eagle team as they get ready for district play tonight. And it's tonight the home opener as well for Georgetown baseball as they will face off against the Connally Cougars. Connally comes in out of the Pflugerville ISD here in district number 23 under head coach Corey Colhane. I'm Wally Harmon alongside Dave England will be with us here in a minute. He's having to go out and wrangle some people off of the grandstand out there where the outfield camera is, causing it to shake on us. And so he'll join us here in a minute in the booth, and then behind the dials and making the cameras and everything work for us is Jerry Ann Harmon. And it's baseball season again here on First Responder Broadcasting here on the SHN Sports Network, and we are glad to be with you. Georgetown, the home team tonight, in the whites with blue pinstripes out of the third base dugout as they get ready in their final warm-ups here before things get going at Eagle Field. The Connally Cougars out of the first base dugout. The visitors tonight, these two teams will face off again on Friday night. We'll have the call live for you here. A little delay tonight, just so you know, there was some lightning in the area. It is cleared. A 7:25 start is on the books here to be going here in just a minute here for Georgetown Eagle baseball. But the Cougars come in and they go with a different jersey tonight. The players had picked this one, and so Coach Colhane came up and corrected some numbers for us. They, out of the first base dugout tonight, will be in black pants with a silver jersey with black numerals accented in green sleeve or dark black sleeves on those jerseys with the black hats with the green C on it. Georgetown, the white pants, white jersey tops, blue pinstripes, blue numerals, white hats with the American flag on the G logo on the hat there for the Georgetown Eagles. They go through. You see them warming up there on the infield, finishing up some sprints and some warm-ups, and they will file back in. The starting lineups for your Georgetown Eagles and the Connally Cougars. For the Connally Cougars, they come out of Pflugerville ISD, located in Austin, Texas, off North Lamar Boulevard. Their head coach is Corey Colhane, assistant coach Noe Garcia. Athletic trainers Kelsey Timmons-Monreal and Brianna Portillo. Athletic director Jonathan Lamb. Athletic coordinator Jason Cecil. Principals Daniel Garcia, and the superintendent is Dr. Quentin Shepard. The starting lineup for the Connally Cougars tonight, as selected by head coach Corey Colhane. Leading it off and playing shortstop, number 9, Rooney Sandrea. Batting second, the right fielder, number 3, Ramon Pulgar. Batting third, the catcher, number 18, Daniel Dorvigny Mesa. Batting fourth, the pitcher, number 14, Antoine Scholes. Batting fifth, the left fielder, number 10, Josue Gomez Hernandez. Batting sixth, the first baseman, number 7, Diego Arispe. Batting seventh, the center fielder, number 16, Kenny Labata Ramirez. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 12, Luis Escobedo Romero. And batting ninth, the third baseman, number 2, Andrew Camarino Aguilera. So it'll be Sandrea, Pulgar, and Mesa in the top three. Scholes, Gomez Hernandez, and Arispe in the middle three. Labata Ramirez, Escobedo Romero, and Camarino Aguilera in the bottom three for the Connally Cougars. Second baseman will be Alex Kiala, the second baseman wearing number 5. The freshman will be defensively at second base for the Connally Cougars. Your Georgetown Eagles are led by head coach Jordan Vieira, assistant coaches Chad Payne, David Durrell, Frank Anzuris, and James Key. Athletic trainers, 2 of the best in the business, Chad Hennessy and Vanessa Rodeau. Athletic director is Jason Dean for Georgetown ISD. Athletic coordinator here at Georgetown High School is Chuck Griffin. Principal Brian Johnson, and the superintendent of Georgetown ISD is Dr. Devin Padaville. The Georgetown Eagles will start this way in tonight's home opener as selected by head coach Jordan Vieira. Leading it off at shortstop, number 7, Jack Kiki. Batting second, the catcher, number 23, Connor Young. Batting third, the first baseman, number 12, David Fluitt. Batting fourth, the third baseman, number 16, Hayden Grooms. Batting fifth, the right fielder, number 17, Justin Soto. Batting fifth, sixth, the DH, number 8, Jaden Howe. Batting 7th, the center fielder, number 24, Cooper Thomas. Batting 8th, the left fielder, number 4, Tate Ritchie. And batting 9th, the second baseman, number 6, Luke Holly. So the Eagles will respond with Kiki, Young, and Fluid in the top third. Grooms, Soto, and Howell in the middle third. Thomas, Ritchie, and Holly in the bottom third. Sophomore in center field, something we talk about this team. Not many sophomores get chances to play and make an impact, but you got to be good to make the varsity team here at Georgetown. And tonight, a big start. 2 sophomores will start tonight. One behind the plate in Connor Young, and one in center field in Cooper Thomas. And so a couple of very good ball players. Connor Young, talk about him, 23. Some of the season, you'll see him as number 23. Some of the season, you'll see him as number 26, depending on the jerseys that they wear. He is a can play anywhere kind of player, and so you'll see him behind the plate. You'll see him on the mound. You'll see him at second base. Connor Young, a very agile utility-type player, but a weapon back behind the plate at catcher tonight. But in center field, Dave, the history of Georgetown baseball, the center field is always the anchor. The center fielder at Georgetown, they've had a run of very fast, quick, good center fielders going back before my time. And then coming in at 22, Andon Petty, the way he patrolled the outfield. And then you had Peterson the last 2 years patrolling the outfield for him. And now the sophomore, Cooper Thomas, starts in game number 1 here at home. And he's a sophomore, and he has speed, he has ability, can swing the bat. 2 sophomores in this starting lineup for Coach Jordan Vieira, something we don't see a lot at Georgetown.
Well, in Cooper Vieira, we trust, and in Coach Vieira, we trust. We see you're right. They've always had a lot of experience, and they put the big fellas out there in center field, and it's a good anchor position. And it's going to be fun to watch these young players develop. From little birdie tells us we've got some youngsters coming up. Some of the sophomores and freshmen coming up, or it's going to be a lot of fun to watch next several years. But right now, the excitement is on these seniors and juniors. But yeah, you're right. It's crazy to see a couple of sophomores out there. But Coach Vieira obviously sees something in these youngsters, and I can't wait to see it.
The only 2 sophomores to make the varsity roster are Cooper Thomas, Connor Young, and both starting here in the district opener at home. Hagen Tate, the senior right-hander, will be on the mound to open up the ballgame. Funny talking to Coach Payne during the week here, Dave, coming up and talking to Coach Vieira, Coach Payne. Everything tonight and this week, pattern 2, get your pitching staff in line and in order for next week's battle, the Crosstown Classic, the Battle of the San Gabriel, the heated rivalry, and the battle between Georgetown and Eastview. And so tonight you have Hagen Tate, the senior right-hander, going for Georgetown, where Fluid will be a name you hear on the mound a lot, the senior anchor pitcher, maybe your ace that's been on this team since a sophomore. And then you'll hear a Braden Curtin coming in. He's a junior right-hander that will throw a lot of innings for this team, but a lot of weapons, a lot of arms out of the bullpen available to head coach Jordan Vieira and his staff. And so it'll be interesting tonight to see. Hagen Tate got some innings last year, but now into that starting role to fill one of those vacancies left by the graduations of last year's seniors. And so it'll be fun to watch Hagen Tate in his first home start this year.
When we talk to our friends about Georgetown baseball, we tell them it's like watching a JUCO baseball team, because these kids play all year. And so this is just another one of their seasons. They get to play in high school, but they're travel ball and all the stuff that they're playing. So you might think, well, how experienced are these kids? You see them out there on the ball field, and it is incredible to see their precision. They're very headsy. The small ball, they're very, very good. And infield stuff, laying down bunts, it's like you're getting schooled out there. It's a lot of fun to see, and you learn so much coming and watching these kids play.
The 2 of the starters tonight, and there's more on this team that are being recruited and working towards playing at the next level. 2 of your starters tonight, one at second base, Luke Holly. You've heard that name multiple times. It's because he's a two-sport star here at Georgetown. Quite the athlete, a safety, starting safety and captain on the football team, and a starter here on the baseball team. He has committed to play baseball at the next level in college after leaving here, graduating from Georgetown, along with third baseman Hayden Grooms, who committed to McMurray University in Abilene to continue his baseball playing days after graduating here this season at Georgetown. The weather tonight, we had that slight delay, the lightning. It seemed to clear the area. Dave, what are we looking for the rest of this ball game?
Beautiful. By the time the first pitch comes around, it's going to be 80 degrees, 16% humidity. It's very dry, clear skies. The moon's coming up. The sun's going down. You couldn't paint a better evening for the first home district game for your Eagles. When I showed up at the stadium, I thought, wow, they just astroturfed the outfield in the offseason. And no, they didn't. That's how nice this field looks. It is incredible condition right now.
Coach
Beautiful.
Vieira has done a great work, and the staff, maintenance staff here at Georgetown, and all the work that goes into it here in the facilities at Georgetown. And, man, this field is in prime condition. I guess it did help that they canceled the first pitch classic earlier at the end of February. That cold front hit here in Georgetown, the Austin area, and so no one wanted to get stuck out of town. Getting down here, you have teams coming out of El Paso and Lubbock and Amarillo, from the Valley, Houston, Dallas, all over the state. And so that tournament got canceled. That had to help because you had about 6 games a day for 3 days straight on the field. This field looks ready to go. At home plate, you're going to have head coach Jordan Vieira and head coach Corey Colhane, joined by manager Jared Frimmel of Georgetown, with the 2-man umpire crew as they have the greetings there at home plate. We're just minutes away from the season opener here at home for Georgetown baseball. It's your district opener as well. It's Georgetown and Connally set to do battle here at Eagle Field. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes. We'll get ready to go with the national anthem. The starting lineups will be introduced here at the stadium, and we'll bring you tonight's first pitch. Stay with us live here on the SHN Sports Network. Georgetown Eagle baseball continues in a moment.
Royalty, put blame on me. Hate my trends. Word up OG, watch how you talking your tone. What I be on, you cannot make me a clone. You already know T versus T. Tagging the limits won't fit the criteria. Here in stereo, saying American. Hang around you and your crew's embarrassing. Take that sneak post down, flexing on me is hilarious. Don't take it from me, I put it in work. Listen to see where I've been. I am the foretelling by the masses. Read by the scroll on my saber and pen. Put down the mic and he calling me in. Can I receive and do it for them? We living and breathing within. OGs. They just saw verses and know me. Don't get offended, it's already written. Just shooting a movie, spin me in 2 C's. Credit for me, it's keep cheated improving. One tape down and I'm still on go. Can't put them on 2 weeks, that's too weak. Training myself for the day that I'm making. And proof that the bruises I got as a kid made a man that could take what I had to a dream, making music and infuse it. The style and the grace of the grace and the change and the next generation. Raising the bar for the taking. Wanna be on, come chase it. My love for the crew. Fight myself and killing my flesh. The only direction I move. Don't need a hand if it costs me to fail. Woman to water, no lube. Saying that I'm after the second division. I say they are too. Be like a dagger. I'ma need more. This clearing the wound. Usually the medicine. Put down your weapons, man. How can I lose? Green of the past is better the water. That's under the rules. Body to see. Word is the food. The shepherd of the sea.
live, Eagle Field. As we get ready for tonight's ball game, we'll go to the PA announcer to introduce your Georgetown Eagles.
Batting first, number 7, Jack Kiki. Batting second, number 23, Connor Young. Batting third, number 12, David Fluitt. Batting fourth, number 16, Hayden Grooms. Batting fifth, number 17, Justin Soto. Batting sixth, number 8, Jaden Howe. Batting seventh, number 24, Cooper Thomas. Batting eighth, number 4, Tate Ritchie. Batting ninth, number 6, Luke Holly. And the rest of the Georgetown Eagles. Number 10, Hagen Tate on the mound. Now, if you'll stand and remove.
So we'll go to the national anthem to bring you here at Eagle Field before we go to tonight's first pitch. Join us in the national anthem. Back here live, Eagle Field. The teams get ready to go. Georgetown takes the field to go through warm-ups to be ready to play here tonight. And I tell you what, you couldn't ask for a better night when we had the lightning delay and getting all set up. The flags were standing at full attention, blowing hard. And Dave, now I don't think the flags are moving.
They built right after Georgetown, so we didn't get a lick of rain. And now there's 0 wind for tonight's game, but at least there's no humidity.
Hagen Tate on the mound for the Georgetown Eagles to start it out. Defensively for your Eagles. In the outfield, left field, Tate Ritchie. In center, Cooper Thomas, Justin Soto in right. Hayden Grooms at third, Jack Kiki at short, Luke Holly at second, David Fluitt at first. Behind the plate, Connor Young, and on the mound, Hagen Tate, your Georgetown Eagle defense. here for tonight's ball game. Starting off top of the first inning, the Connally Cougars will send to the plate Rooney Sandrea, the shortstop, Ramon Pulgar, and Daniel Dorvigny Mesa to face off against Hagen Tate here in the top of the first. Was just making sure our field mic was working. Not much going on down there. We'll get that cranked up a little bit to get the sounds of the game. Hagen Tate finishing up with his warm-ups as Georgetown gets ready to go tonight. The Eagles at home. Tomorrow night, join us, Camp Brightside, 7 p.m. We'll have the first coaches show of the season there at Camp Brightside with head coach Jordan Vieira. And what we started last year, we continue this year. We'll have the freshman player of the week, the JV player of the week, and a couple of your varsity players interviewing there. And a new component we've been working on. It'll be the hot seat questions, 5 rapid-fire questions for the players to enjoy and have to answer under fire. We'll change them up so a little bit to find out, kind of a way to find out about these kids and kind of what makes them tick while also talking some baseball. Rooney Sandrea steps in for the right side to face off against Tate out of the windup. The first pitch is in there for a called strike. No balls, 1 strike here to Sandrea, the shortstop. A senior for the Cougars. First, the 0-1 pitch. Low and outside for ball 1. 1-1 to count now to Sandrea, the leadoff man for the Cougars. Tate from the windup. The 1-1 pitch. Just misses outside. Ball 2. 2-1 to count. And then Friday night, we'll be at Connally High School off of North Lamar Boulevard there in Austin for the second game of this best-of-2 series. Tate's 2-1 pitch. Ground ball hit out to second. Holly to his left, fields it, bobbles it, picks it back up, throws the first in time. And the first batter is retired. 4-3 on the putout as Holly stays with it and records the out at first base. And so with 1 down, in steps the right fielder, number 3, Ramon Pulgar. He'll step in from the right side for the Cougars. Here at the top of the first, 1-0. Congrats to the freshman Eagles, 26-0 winners over the Connally Cougars over at Connally High School tonight. JV underway over there at Connally High School. First pitch to Pulgar. Misses for ball 1, 1-0 the count. The 1-0 pitch. Catches the outside corner for a called strike. 1-1 the count. Hagen Tate works from the first base side of the rubber from the windup. The 1-1 pitch. Breaking pitch stays up and in for ball 2. 2-1 to count. To Pulgar with Dorvigny Mesa, the catcher, on deck for the Cougars. 2-1 pitch. Pulgar chases it. Nice breaking pitch down low in the turf. Good block there by Connor Young. A swing and the miss makes it a 2-2 count now with 1 out. Pulgar back in from the right side. Hagen Tate looks in and gets the sign from Connor Young from the windup. The 2-2 pitch. And that one hits him. So Hagen Tate loses that. The first batter hit by a pitch. We'll give the Cougars their first base runner.
Panthers, Ramon Pulgar.
And so now Dorvigny Mesa will step in, the catcher, number 18. Pulgar down to first base on the hit by pitch. So the first base runner aboard for the Cougars. And now Hagen Tate will move in to the stretch. Stays on the first base side of that rubber. A look over to first. Now comes set. First pitch to Mesa. Misses outside. Ball 1. 1-0 the count. To the Cougars catcher. Batting from the right side. On deck the pitcher, Antoine Scholes. Mesa, the sophomore, stands back in. The 1-0 pitch from Tate. Fouled off, back to the screen as Janice Ton ducks out of the way. We all would do the same. 1-1 the count. That one fouled off right back to the screen. And evens out the count at 1-1 strike. Pulgar leads off. Fluid holds him on at first. Tate throws over to first base. Pulgar dives back in safely. Georgetown Eagle baseball underway here on the home opener, district opener as well, against the Connally Cougars. Next week, Tuesday night will be home against the Eastview Patriots. Thursday night on the road at Patriot Park. The 1-1 pitch misses for ball 2. 2-1 to count now to the catcher Mesa. And that one should be a fun one, Dave. A lot of starters coming back for Eastview. Mason Pullen, one of the Coach Pullen's son, along with Asher Kirchhoff, will be the tough lefty to face for Georgetown. So that series should be a fun one to watch next week. 2-1 to count. Hagen Tate comes set in the stretch. The 2-1 pitch. Misses low and outside, ball 3.
Yeah, that series last year was full of drama and excitement, on and off the field. So it should be fun. You've got to come out and see that game.
Luke Holly stepped up in both games to play a huge part in winning both ball games against Eastview in battles, both at Patriot Park and at home. 3-1 pitch, high and away, ball 4. So back-to-back base runners now. As Hagen Tate walks his first.
I believe Kelly Duvall and I called that game over at Eastview, and it was exciting. It was
10-inning ball game.
It was a fun one.
I watched from the computer in Port Aransas.
Lots of clips.
It is a fun night, and here comes out Coach Payne. He'll come out and have an early visit with Hagen Tate, trying to get him settled down. Hagen Tate, the senior right-hander.
You kind of feel like he's a little off. He's outside, inside, the one hit by pitch, and I think he's just going to probably tell him, hey, come down, settle down, we're good. It's the first home district game, so probably some nerves. You saw Holly bobble the ball there at second. But I think everything's going to settle in here.
And you got to think for these seniors like Hagen Tate and Luke Holly, it's a first last.
Right.
This is your last home
opener
at Georgetown as a senior, and so some excitement, some butterflies there, ready to get this season underway in district play, and as you now start your chase for the playoffs. And so Hagen Tate, a quick visit from pitching coach Chad Payne, and now Tate ready to go here against Antoine Scholes. Look back, a throw to second base, but Polgar dives in under the tag from Jack Kiki. So the Cougars here at the top of the first. Runners on first and second. The catcher Mesa off first base. Polgar off of second base. Antoine Schultz from the right side. Hagen Tate comes set in the stretch. A look back at second base. The first pitch to Schultz. On the outside corner for a called strike 1. Antoine Schultz, the junior right-hander, will start on the mound for the Cougars tonight here in the season opener for Connally as well in their district opener. Friday night, we'll be back over at Connally High School. 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock first pitch, barring any lightning delays or weather events. Another throw to second base, and Kiki with a quick tag. Polgar dives in safely underneath the tag. Back and forth they go. Jack Kiki, the junior shortstop.
See, that's the headsiness. He didn't throw the ball back right away to the pitcher. If he's going to come off the base, he's going to get him right there.
Make sure that base runner's paying attention. And
Yep.
Polgar didn't want to move. 0-1 the count to Scholes. 1 out with runners on first and second. Tate with a look at second base. Now the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Throw back down to first, and they got him. Mesa picks off on the throw behind from Connor Young.
He had such a big lead off. I was watching that, but, you don't want to throw over there. He had a big lead.
David Fluitt got back to the bag, and Connor Young picks off Daniel Dorvigny Mesa, who reached on a base on balls. He gets picked off. That's going to be a 2-3 on the pickoff. And so now 2 outs in the inning. A big out there for the Cougars. 0-2 the count to Scholes. The 0-2 pitch. Chases one down in the turf. Connor Young blocks it. He'll throw down to first and retire the Cougars here in the top of the first. So no runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base after half an inning. Connally 0. Georgetown coming up to bat. Stay with us. Georgetown baseball continues after this. back live here at Eagle Field. We go to the bottom of the first as Antoine Scholes will warm up here for the Cougars on the mound. Scholes, the junior right-hander, and he will face off against the top three in the Eagle lineup, Jack Kiki, Connor Young, and David Fluitt. So it'll be junior, sophomore, senior to face off against the junior Antoine Scholes to open up the ball game. Defensively for the Cougars, see if it'll work, and it does. In left field, Gomez Hernandez. In center field, Labata Ramirez. Right field, Pulgar. At third base, Camarino Aguilera. At shortstop, Sandrea Kiala. At second, Arizpe at first. Dorvigny Mesa behind the plate, and Antoine Scholes on the mound defensively for the Connally Cougars. And so the Georgetown Eagles get ready to go. Jack Kiki, the shortstop, will lead it off. He bats from the right side, and he will start it off against Antoine Scholes here in the bottom of the first. But some key plays there in the top of the first inning, Dave, for defensively for Georgetown. You help your pitcher settle in. A quick visit from Coach Chad Payne to get his pitcher, senior pitcher, hey, calm down, get back in the flow, we're good. Take a couple of breaths. And then a big pickoff by Connor Young. Throws down behind Dorvigny Mesa at first base and picks him off on the 2-3 pickoff to get the second out of the inning. And then a strikeout swinging by Scholes to end the inning, and a great play by Connor Young, keeping that pitch down in the turf in front of him. Big plays there in the first inning defensively to pick up your pitcher.
Right, exactly. And I don't know what Coach Payne said to him, but it worked really well, and he had the whole infield there with him. And so, he's struggling just a little bit, finding that strike zone really nice. I mean, he had some good strikes, but, it's good that exactly right. Like you said, the infield helps him out, and that's a heads-up play by the catcher to be able to, because he was eyeballing that guy at first base. He saw that. And that's easy pickings right there.
Dorvigny Mesa kept getting a big lead, and what a heads-up play though. But we talked about it in the pregame. Your catcher is a sophomore. And what a play there, a heads-up play by Connor Young. He showed the arm early to throw down back behind the runner Mesa to pick him off. And
he's not a tiny person. Connor Young is a big fella. When they went out there for warm-ups, I went, ooh, it's going to be fun to watch guys try and run into him.
So Jack Kiki will step in from the right side, wearing number 7 this year as the junior, the starting shortstop, ready to go. Antoine Scholes, the right-hander, will work from the stretch, first base side of the rubber for the Cougars as he comes set. And the bottom of the first is underway. The first pitch to Kiki. Kiki swings, ball lined out into left field, and it's off the glove and over the head of the left fielder, Gomez Hernandez, and Kiki motors into second base. And it was a line drive. Tough to see, too. You got to think that tonight, as the sun has set, it's kind of a gray hue through the sky. And a tough line drive right at Gomez Hernandez. And they will call that an error there. So Kiki reaches on an error. So one pitch, and Georgetown has a base runner down at second base, and in steps the catcher, number 23, Connor Young.
The outfielder was trying to judge, hey, should I come up to it, back up a little bit? And I think that's experience.
Off his glove and past him as Kiki motors into second base. Scholes comes set, a look back at Kiki at second. Connor Young squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes it for a called strike. 0-1 to count. To the sophomore, left-handed hitting catcher, Connor Young. Throws right, bats left. Young will step back in. No balls and 1 strike. Corners playing on the grass for the Cougars. Now Arizpe will back up at first base. Connor Young squares early. Now Arizpe comes charging in. The pitch. Connor Young pulls it back and takes it low for ball 1. 1-1 to count now. To Connor Young with David Fluitt, the first baseman, on deck for Georgetown here in the bottom of the first. Young settles back in for the left side. Scholes a look in, gets the pitch, and comes set in the stretch. Look at second base. The 1-1 pitch, fouled off down the third baseline, out of play. And the count now, 1 ball, 2 strikes to the catcher, Connor Young. Here in the bottom of the first of the district and home opener for your Georgetown Eagles. No runs, no hits, 1 error, or no errors in the top of the inning. 1 runner left on base. The Eagles got out of trouble with 2 runners on and 1 out. And a pickoff and a strikeout to end the inning. The 2-1 pitch, or 1-2 pitch. And Connor Young called out. Say he didn't check his swing. So a strikeout for Antoine Scholes. Connor Young down for the first out. And in steps David Fluitt with a runner at second and 1 out. The sophomore, Connor Young, Almost thought he might lay down a bunt there in that at bat with no outs and a runner at second to get that first run moved over to third base. But now Fluid steps in, the senior, bats left, throws left, Fluid ready to go. Scholl's first pitch to Fluid. Misses low and outside, ball one.
And you go back to that last at bat, that's a lot of confidence in your sophomore to ask him to get out there and bunt. You know, that's cool.
And that is one thing that is impressed me about watching practices over and over through the years with Jordan Vieira and his staff. The bunt game, the small ball game is worked on religiously to be prepared. It doesn't matter where you are in the lineup. Fluid will foul this one off down the third baseline, curls out of play, and it evens up the count at 1-1 strike now. To David Fluid on deck, the third baseman, Hayden Grooms. Here in the bottom of the first, one out, a runner at second. Kiki led off on a first pitch line drive to left field off the glove of the left fielder for an error. Kiki down at second base with a 1-1 count to Fluid here. Scholes comes set, looks at second base. The 1-1 pitch. Kiki off and running, the curveball down in the turf, and what a timed pitch there to run on for Kiki. And now, one out, a 2-1 count to Fluid, and a runner down to third base for Georgetown.
That worked out well. Good pitch in the dirt, and he had already had a head start. There's no chance for that catcher to get him.
And a great job there by Jack Kiki, a great jump off of Scholes there. And now Fluid will step back in. 2 balls, 1 strike with 1 out, and a runner at third base here in the bottom of the first. Scholes comes set in the stretch. The 2-1 pitch, up and away, ball 3. 3-1 now the count. To David Fluid with Hayden Grooms waiting for his shot on deck.
Did Scholes pitch last year?
He pitched in one of the games, and he was a big first baseman.
I think I remember his hat comes off every time he throws a pitch.
The 3-1 pitch to Fluid. Ball outside, 4 balls to a walk. Fluid down to first base, runners on the corners now. First walk there issued by Scholes.
Batting, third baseman, Hayden Grooms.
And now you've got Hayden Grooms stepping in, the senior third baseman. Bats right, throws right. Grooms had a great fall ball season for Georgetown. Steps in here in the cleanup spot for Georgetown with runners on the corners and 1 out.
You can run on for a long time. Run on.
Scholes will stay in the stretch with runners on the corner. Reese Bay will hold Fluid on at first. The first pitch to Grooms. Ball hit into right field. It'll be a base hit. That'll score Kiki from third. Fluid round second, but he'll stay there. An RBI single for Hayden Grooms to start off his senior season at home in his home opener. And Georgetown takes the 1-0 lead. So a great piece of hitting there. Grooms sent that one to right field, and now runners at first and second.
Coach Vieira is having a little chit-chat with the umpire behind the – something's going on. I think he's trying to get the batters warming up to try and scoot back towards the dugout just a little bit. He motioned the last one back.
Makes me think of the time the Major League umpire told Adrian Beltre, hey, get back on the circle, the warm-up circle, so he went and grabbed it and pulled it closer and ended up throwing Beltre out of the ballgame. Runners at first and second. In steps Justin Soto, the right fielder. Soto wears number 17 this season for Georgetown, the junior. Or the senior, sorry, Justin Soto, the senior. In right field tonight, steps in with 1 out. Runners on first and second after Hayden Grooms singled to right field to score Jack Kiki.
Got Jacob Bachman next door to us. I think he's helping out with the fun times on the PA.
As the Jeopardy theme gets going, now the home plate umpire to break up the conversation between the catcher, Norvigny Mesa, and Antoine Scholes. So Justin Soto will step in from the right side with 1 out, runners on first and second. 1 run across here in the bottom of the first. Georgetown leads it 1-0. Fluid leads off second base. Hayden Grooms off first. Scholes in the stretch, comes set, looks back at second base. The first pitch to Soto. On the outside corner. A little delayed call there, but a called strike 1. Soto now 0-1 in the count. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m., come out to Camp Brightside. It's the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show live from Camp Brightside. Great host of the Eagle Nation Coaches Shows, football and baseball. Join us tomorrow night for the first one of the season. Freshman JV Players of the Week and 2 varsity players join us tomorrow night, along with Coach Vieira. The 0-1 pitch gets by the catcher, and that'll allow both runners to move up. Flew it to third, Grooms to second, and a 1-1 count now to Soto on the wild pitch. Bachman tearing it up.
I've never had anything bad at Camp Brightside to eat. The food out there is just incredible.
It is a great atmosphere, great food, and great area to be at. And so much to do out there. Families, place to go out and enjoy. Kids can run and roam around. The wiffle ball field up and running. The 1-1 pitch is high for ball 2. 2-1 the count to Soto. Here in the bottom of the first. Runners at second and third with 1 out. 1 run across. Scholes continues to work here in the bottom of the first. Soto back in from the right side. Scholes comes set in the stretch. The 2-1 pitch. Soto fouls it off back to the screen. Evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I think he chased that one because he got that one call was called, that last strike was way out there. He thought it might be considered, you got to kind of see what this umpire's calling that strike zone.
Early in the game, established, see where he's going to be, and an opportunity there. If Soto gets a hold of it, push it to the right side, score at least 1 run. The 2-2 pitch. Soto fouls it off back to the screen. Count remains 2-2. A good battle here for Justin Soto in his first at bat of the ball game. 1 out, runners on second and third. On deck, the senior, Jaden Howell, the DH tonight. Awaits his turn here in the bottom of the first. Soto back in from the right side. Scholes gets the sign and comes set in the stretch. The 2-2 pitch. Soto fouls it back over the clamshell, out of play. Stays alive in the at-bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes. But 7 o'clock tomorrow night, come join us. Camp Brightside for the Eagle Baseball Coaches Show. Jordan Vieira will be there with us, along with 2 of the varsity players. The JV Player of the Week and the Freshman Player of the Week, as the JV is on a tear. 9-0 going into the night. They were undefeated in their 2 tournaments, and they are playing well. The freshman team playing well. They won tonight 26-0 over at Connally, and the JV underway over at Connally right now as we speak. And then Friday night, we'll be at Connally High School for the varsity ball game, 6:45 pregame here on the SHN Sports Network. Scholes comes set. 2-2 count to Soto. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And Soto down on strikes for out number 2. Second strikeout of the inning for Scholes.
I've watched a little bit of Georgetown baseball over the years. We do our best work with 2 outs.
We are a 2-out machine. And it'll be a great time here as Jaden Howell steps in. Howell, the DH, throws right, bats left. Steps in here with 2 outs and runners at second and third. You'd love to put a couple of runs across here in the bottom of the first to kind of get some early separation. And Howell will step in here. Scholes comes set in the stretch. A look back at second base. Grooms off second, Fluid off third. The first pitch to Howell. Swinging, fouled off down the third baseline, out of play. 0-1 the count to the senior DH, Jaden Howell. On deck, the center fielder, Cooper Thomas. Should Howell reach base? Howell will step back in from the left side. No balls and 1 strike, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Runners at second and third, 1 run across for the Eagles so far. Scholes with a long look in, gets the sign and comes set. The 0-1 pitch. That one misses inside for ball 1. 1-1 the count. Jaden Howell.
Bachman's going to be MVP at this rate.
Flew off third, Grooms off second. Scholes comes set in the stretch. A late break there by the shortstop, and now a throw to second base. Grooms back under the tag. I think had Scholes thrown the first time, that play may have gone the way of the Cougars.
Right.
But a delay there, and you could see it from the shortstop. Sandrea, he was kind of expected to throw earlier from Scholes. But Grooms able to read it and get back in safely. 1-1 the count. Jaden Howe ready to go. Scholes comes set in the stretch. A look at second base. The 1-1 pitch. Up and in. Chin music. 2-1 now the count to Jaden Howe. 6th batter in the Eagle lineup here at the bottom of the first. The one thing you like to see, though, by this Eagle lineup, you want to see a lot of pitches early.
Right.
Try to get to the bullpen, and doing a great job here in the bottom of the first.
Well, he's going to throw out his back as many times he has to pick up that ball cap off the pitcher's mound.
The 2-1 pitch to Howe. Swinging ball sent down the left field line. It's curling away from the left fielder. It's down. It'll get all the way to the wall. Fluid scores from third. Howe around second, and he'll be held there with a 2 RBI double. And Georgetown takes a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the first.
I like the boat horn. That's cool.
What a job there. A 2 RBI double by
Eagles
Jaden
center
Howe.
fielder, Cooper Thomas.
Scores Fluid and Grooms. And in steps the sophomore center fielder, Cooper Thomas. Players number 24, bats from the right side. Thomas will step in here with 2 outs and a runner at second base. Jaden Howe, the DH, does his job. Scores the 2 runs there with 2 outs. And there it is. The Eagles doing damage with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, how much fun is it for Cooper as a sophomore to step in here, 1 on, 2 outs, but, you know, first district home opener, you know, and it's got to be fun for these sophomores to be up on varsity.
Thomas back in now. Scholes gets ready. Comes set in the stretch. A look at second base. The first pitch to Thomas, swinging, fouled off back behind home plate. 0-1 the count. To the center fielder, Cooper Thomas. On deck, Tate Ritchie, the left fielder. Should Thomas reach base? Here with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Saturday, if you're bored and out towards Marble Falls, come see Georgetown baseball on the road. 1 o'clock start, taking on the Marble Falls Mustangs. We'll be on the road to call that game for you. 12:45 pregame, 1 o'clock first pitch. The 0-1 pitch to Thomas, low and outside, ball 1. 1-1 the count now.
Attempted a throw. The catcher attempted to get the second baseman out and was unsuccessful.
So we'll throw down behind. I think Mesa's want to right what happened to him. try to alleviate a runner like he did Connor Young. A great throw down there to pick off the catcher, Dvorkny Mesa, for out number 2 in the top of the inning. Scholes gets the sign and comes set in the stretch. A 1-1 count to Cooper Thomas. The 1-1 pitch. Outside, ball 2. 2-1 the count.
Yeah, with that guy on second base, you got a great opportunity. The third baseman is playing over towards third base quite a bit, and he needs to, but you got a wide open path there for a good ground ball.
Large hole there in the 5-6 hole for Cooper Thomas. Scholes comes set. A look back at second base. The 2-1 pitch to Cooper Thomas. Misses outside.
There you go. Nope.
Mesa drops the ball. Jaden Howe's going to get caught up between second and third, but Mesa throws behind him at second base, and Jaden Howe takes third base. So a heads-up play there. Instead of getting in the pickle, is able to get away from trouble. And now Georgetown has a runner at third base with 2 outs and a 3-1 count to Cooper Thomas.
And he's kind of tall fella, too, so he's going to reach base pretty quick.
He got a good head-first slide from about midway to third base. Jaden Howe sliding in safely. And now an opportunity here for Cooper Thomas in the bottom of the first with a 3-1 count. It's a good hitter's count. You think you'll see a good pitch and an opportunity to drive in the 4th run of the inning. Scholes looks in, gets the sign, and comes set in the stretch. The 3-1 pitch to Thomas. Misses outside, ball 4. Second walk issued in the inning by Antoine Scholes. That'll have runners at the corners again with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. And that will bring up the left fielder, number 4, Tate Ritchie, the senior. Ritchie will step in here with Luke Holly on deck. So the number 8 hitter steps in for Georgetown here in the bottom of the first.
You kind of expect Cooper Thomas, if there's an opportunity, to take second here pretty quick.
Cooper Thomas has some speed. It'll be fun to watch here. Scholes will come set in the stretch. Thomas a good lead at first, held on by Arispe. He's off on a run to Yo-Yo. Scholes Gets him in a pickle. Now Howe will take off for home. Can Thomas stay in it long enough? And he does. Run, scores. Now Cooper Thomas stays in the rundown. Throws back and forth. He's going to get back to first base. Cooper Thomas gets out of the pickle. Jaden Howe scores, and it's 4-0 Georgetown.
How about that sophomore?
What a job there by Cooper Thomas. One, to keep it alive long enough to let Howe score from third. And a great job there to avoid the tag and get back to first base. You almost expected that from Scholes. It was a little bit late on first movement. Cooper took off, and it was a good play by Scholes as he stayed in the yo-yo.
Yeah, everybody got their steps in tonight.
Cooper Thomas has got plenty in there in that rundown, but a great job. And so now Coach Cole Haynes going to come out and have a visit at the mound with his pitcher, Antoine Scholes.
You almost talk about, is that an error by the pitcher? Because they do that on purpose. I mean, you're going to run in hopes that in an inexperienced ball club would try and worry about that guy when the easy run home for the man on third. And
you say that, and it's funny. The other day out here talking with Coach and watching practice, Georgetown works on these scenarios defensively and offensively to make sure, and they talk about the communication between players on the field, between the coaches, to talk to your players. Home, shoot forward to cut that run down. You'll let him have second base. Don't let the run score. And a great job there by Jaden Howe to scramble home. Everything you see them working on in practice is really coming to fruition here in the first inning for Georgetown. Watching it, the only thing they haven't done is laid down the bunt. But they've paid it off with 4 runs here in the bottom of the first inning. So Tate Ritchie will step back in. He has yet to see a pitch and already has a run in during his at-bat as Jaden Howe scores.
You've got a combination of really smart players that have been playing a lot of ball, and then you've also got some incredible coaches that, I mean, they've been to state 3 times. They have made deep runs, and so they're able to just really work with these kids, and it's really all comes together throughout the season too.
And this entire coaching staff still intact in David Durrell, Chad Payne, and Jordan Vieira that was the leadership of the 22 state championship game title team that brought home Georgetown's first baseball title. Throw over to first quickly. Cooper Thomas drives back in safely. So Scholes paying a lot of attention. The word is out. Cooper Thomas is fast and can run. And so no pitches to Tate Ritchie and 2 pickoff attempts on Cooper Thomas as he leads back off first. Arizbe holds him on. Scholes will get the sign from his catcher, Mesa. He comes set in the stretch after a look at first base. Ritchie in from the right side. Scholes comes set. A bluff on the still. Cooper Thomas stays put. The first pitch to Ritchie is outside for ball 1. 1-0 the count to the left fielder, Tate Ritchie. Wears number 4 this year. Last year was number 5. You know, they couldn't just leave well enough alone. We got to switch up a bunch of jerseys. Thanks to Luke Hawley and David Fluid, 2 of the seniors that kept their numbers for me. I appreciate it. Thomas leads off. Scholes comes set. The 1-0 pitch. Up over the head of Scholes. Now a delayed steal by Cooper Thomas and another rundown. And Cooper Thomas will be called out of the base path, trying to avoid the tag by Sandrea in the bottom of the first. Comes to an end. It'll be on a caught stealing by the catcher, Norvigny Mesa. It's a 2-6 on the caught stealing for out number 3. So the first inning finally comes to an end. 4 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, and no runners left on base. After 1 complete, Georgetown 4, Connally 0. Georgetown Eagle baseball will continue after this.
Yeah. I'm the big homie. For those of y'all that don't know me, one and only, name another rapper this Cody. Can't show me these down bad rap phonies. Take a pic to Ricky Bobby shaking baked Brody. Pin rolling, never sleep, I just keep going. Hit my peak now, I just started like my name Tommy. Had a vision, this was destined for my life story. Bible by my side, I keep it like a gun on me. War ready and we ain't afraid to get bloody. Told me I should quit my day job, that's funny. Hate will always elevate me, I'ma keep showing. Out and selling, record spinning, it ain't never slowing. Take the stakes, take the crown, I don't need it, got the sound. I'ma be the king forever, even when they count me out. Favorite rapper, raise a bar from the ground. Taking risks you never dreamed of, get my name up out your mouth. Don't talk, it's silent on the floor, kings walk. We we gon' drag your body through the door in shock. How I got 'em asking for a tour, man, stop. I'ma need a second, maybe more. I'm the big homie, for those of y'all that don't know me. One and only, name another rapper, this Cody. Can't show me these down bad rap phonies. Take a pic of Ricky Bobby shaking bake Brody. Independent on my own, on my stand. Taking handouts, not for me, I like the back of my demands. Bet against me, I'ma need that money coming in advance. I play with God's hand, you ain't never stood a chance. Take over your playlist, I'm that dude, set the mood. Know I've always been on top, I play it cool, nothing new. They said I should flex and then bring in a juice, school the rules.
Back live here for inning number 2 is Hagen Tate from the windup, the first pitch to Josue Gomez Hernandez. He's in there for strike 1. Gomez Hernandez, Arispe, Labata Ramirez due up here in the top of the second. The 0-1 pitch, grounded to second. Holly charges, fields it, throws to first in time. 4 out, number 1. 4-3 on the putout to retire Gomez Hernandez. And that'll bring up the first baseman, number 7, Diego Arispe. He'll step in with 1 out, and the base is empty. In the first inning, Hagen Tate faced 4 batters. Gave up no hits, struck out 1, walked 1, hit 1. Only threw 17 pitches in all of that, thanks to Connor Young's pickoff. First pitch to Arispe, in there for a called strike, 0-1 the count to Diego Arispe, the senior first baseman. The 0-1 pitch from Tate. Swing and a miss, strike 2, 0-2, the high heat.
One thing we can't see here at the stadium is they've got the facility over there with their bullpen. So he might have gone back in there with Coach Payne, worked on some things. We don't know that. You know.
0-2 pitch in there, called third strike.
Right.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Second strikeout of the ball game for Hagen Tate.
Already a much cleaner outing this inning.
And in steps the center fielder, number 16, Kenny Labata Ramirez. Junior senior fielder, center fielder. Steps in from the right side. Hagen Tate from the windup, the first pitch. Just misses low for ball 1.
And that's tough for the Cougars too. You know, you're down already 4-1 or 4-0, and you've already got 2 outs, and just want to get something going.
Hagen Tate from the windup, the 1-0 pitch. That one's in there for a called strike 1. Hagen Tate dealing on a different level here. In inning number 2, kind of settled in. And now the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. For strike 2, 1-2, now the count. So if you're Georgetown, you would love to go right out into the field and get a quick 3 outs, back into the dugout and get back to the bats.
Well, 3 up, 3 down.
The 1-2 pitch misses outside. Ball 2, 2-2 the count now. On deck, Luis Escobedo Romero. Should Kenny Labata Ramirez be able to reach base? The 2-2 pitch. Strike 3, swinging. The Cougars go down in order here in the top of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. After an inning and a half, Georgetown 4, Connally 0. Georgetown Eagle baseball continues in a moment. back live here at Eagle Field, Georgetown High School. We go to the bottom of the second. The 9-1-2 hitters due up. Up to bat first will be the senior second baseman, number 6, Luke Holly. He'll be followed by the top of the lineup in Jack Kiki and Connor Young. Luke Holly, a couple of home runs, none bigger than the grand slam that separated the ball game up in Dallas this past weekend. It was a 1-1 ball game, and all of a sudden I look down at the game changer and it's 5-1 on a grand slam by Luke Holly. No, it is not Luke Holly. I apologize. Tate Ritchie was at bat when Cooper Thomas was caught stealing. So it is 8-9-1. Ritchie, Holly, and Kiki due up here in the bottom of the second. Tate Ritchie steps in with the clear count, and Antoine Scholes gets ready to go here in the bottom of the second. The first inning gave up 4 runs on 2 hits with 1 error through 29 pitches. Scholes gets ready. The first pitch to Ritchie. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
He's throwing something they like.
And Antoine Scholes is young. He had a great season as a sophomore. On one of the all-district teams for Connally, was just a good ball player. And so you like to see his development here this year at the starter in game 1, and knowing you're going to see him again next year for the Connally Cougars. The 0-1 pitch to Tate Ritchie will come after Tate Ritchie takes the timeout. Scholes taking his time there as he came set.
We don't have the clock.
That is one thing that has not made its way down to high school. That may not be far off. Scholes now gets the sign and comes set. The 0-1 pitch to Ritchie. Tate fouls it off into the Cougar dugout. Watch yourself. 0-2 now the count to the senior left fielder, Tate Ritchie. Luke Holly on deck. Jack Kiki in the hole for Georgetown here in the bottom of the second. 4-0 lead for Georgetown. Tate from the right side takes the deep breath. Comes set in the right side of the box as Scholes comes set in the stretch. The 0-2 pitch from Scholes. Up and in for ball 1. 1-2 the count. Eagle dugout starting to chatter it up. Scholes comes set. The 1-2 pitch to Ritchie. Breaking ball stays low for ball 2. Evens up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Leading off here, the bottom of the second. 29 pitches thrown by Scholes in inning number 1. Scholes will come set in the stretch. Ritchie ready from the right side. The 2-2 pitch. Stays up for ball 3, and now a full count. Still good at bat here by Tate Ritchie. It was an 0-2 count to start. He's worked it full. So Scholes will have to bring him something here. Try to get him to chase. No outs here in the bottom of the second as Ritchie leads it off from the 8 slot in the Georgetown lineup. Georgetown JV, 7-0 lead right now over at Connally in their battle. Scholes comes set. The payoff pitch to Tate Ritchie. Stays up, misses, ball 4, a leadoff walk.
Good battle.
Third walk issued by Scholes here in the first inning in a inning plus. And that'll bring up Luke Holly, the senior right-handed hitting second baseman. Tate Ritchie down at first base. Arispe will hold him on there. Luke Holly will step in, the number 9 hitter in the lineup tonight for your Georgetown Eagles. Holly from the right side. Ritchie with a good-sized lead at first. Arispe holds him on. Scholes a look over, gets the sign, and now comes set in the stretch. Pitch to Holly is in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count.
Coach Payne out there in the coach's box.
I was going to say something.
Yeah.
I wanted to see how long it took you to see as many games as you've watched Georgetown baseball.
Something
for the
different.
first thing we've seen in several years. Chad Payne, the pitching coach down at third base, Coach Vieira staying in the dugout and calling things from the dugout so far this season.
Yeah.
So we may actually see some foul balls fielded by a coach in the foul box. The 0-1 pitch on the outside corner for a called strike 2. 0-2 the count now to Luke Colley.
We used to see Coach Foster out there, and then Coach Vieira, and little change up, yeah.
I noticed that during one of the scrimmages, and I said, is this what's to come? And they said, we're checking it out. And so far, it's been this way all season. Scholes comes set. A throw over to first base. Richie dives back in safely there. No balls. 2 strikes to Holly here in the bottom of the second with no outs and a runner at first. I cut you off, Dave. Go ahead.
I feel like Vieira's probably still giving the signals.
He is,
Yeah.
and they look to him for everything in the dugout. But a different feel on the base path with Payne calling everything at third base for Georgetown. Schultz comes set, the 0-2 pitch. Holly battles, pops it up, right side of the infield into shallow right field. Now coming back in, the ball moves, and it's going to hit off the second baseman. It's down on an error, and that's going to allow Tate Ritchie to move up to second. That ball started into shallow right field. Kiala, the freshman, went back about 10 steps and ended up coming in about 15. And it went off of him for the error. The freshman couldn't handle that one, and so the Eagles have 2 base runners here in the start at the bottom of the second.
No outs. We almost had an out, but no outs. This is neat, though. The more I think about it, is Coach Payne is able to focus on the runners, and looks like that's his job. And then Coach Vieira can sit back and think about how things are going between the pitcher and the batter.
Kiki steps in. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Reached on a 2-base error by the left fielder. Squares the bunt and fouls it off back to the screen. That pitch was kind of up and in. So it's an 0-1 count here to Jack Kiki. Kiki led off the ball game on the first pitch from Scholes with that line drive to left field. Off the glove of the left fielder. Gomez Hernandez reached second, scored the first run of the ball game for Georgetown. Steps in here, 0 for 1 in the game with no outs and runners at first and second. Tate Ritchie reached on a walk, is down at second. Holly reaches on the air by the second baseman. By Kiala. The 0-1 pitch behind Kiki.
And they put an out up there on the board?
They'll have to take it back down. There is no outs in the inning. 1-1 now the count as Kiki got out of the way. A 1-1 the count to Jack Kiki. Schultz comes set, looks at second base. Ritchie has the lead off. The 1-1 pitch, that hits Kiki. The first one went behind him, this one went off the shoulder, and now the bases are full of Eagle base runners after a walk, an error, and a hit by a pitch. First batter hit by a pitch by Scholes. Loads him up. Ritchie down to the third base, Holly to second, and in steps Connor Young. The left-handed hitting catcher steps in, 0 for 1 in the ballgame, struck out swinging in the first. Steps in here with the bases loaded, no outs.
And wasn't he trying some bunts?
He did. He looked to square the first couple of times. Now, we'll see what happens here. The first baseman, Arispe, comes into the grass. The third baseman, Camarino Aguilera, moves into the edge of the grass. Scholes comes set. The first pitch to Connor Young. Lays off, takes it up and in for ball 1.
He wants to go Luke Holly on it, doesn't he?
He would love to take it yard. Connor Young has the power. A big hitter, sophomore here, can turn on one in a heartbeat. No wind here to help you push it out tonight, though. After a nice gusty wind before the game, the flag still relaxing there in center field now as the American flag waves around. The 1-0 pitch misses high for ball 2. 2-0 the count now to Connor Young. On deck, David Fluitt, the first baseman. Georgetown want to make some noise here and try to open this one up. Leads it 4-0. Bases loaded here in the bottom of the second with no outs. A walk, an error, and a hit by pitch has loaded them up for Georgetown. Corners in for the Cougars. Sandrea closes in at second base. Holly goes back. Now the pitch. And a line drive up the middle. Caught by Sandrea. He'll step on second to double up Holly. And a great play, but he's playing over, wanting to throw from Scholes to try to pick off Holly.
He was in the right spot at the right time.
And he stayed put, and Connor Young hit a line drive right up the middle.
I was just thinking right before Connor Young hit that, I was like, well, how much room there is over there between second and third.
So Holly is doubled off on the Connor Young out on the L6. And a double play, L6, 6U, as Sandrea stepped on second base to double off Holly. So 2 outs in the inning. Now in steps David Fluitt with 2 outs and runners on the corners. Fluitt 0 for 0 in the ball game. He walked and scored a run in the first. Steps back in here with runners on the corners. Kiki leads off first. The throw over to Arizpe off the glove of Arizpe as Kiki dove back in safely. Tate Ritchie stays put at third base. So the Eagles will reset. On deck, Hayden Grooms, the third baseman. The dugout chatter continues. Throw over to first again. Kiki dives back in safely under the tag from Arizpe. David Fluitt, your senior first baseman, back in from the left side. Walked and scored a run in the first. Stems back in, ready to go here in the bottom of the second with 2 outs and runners on the corners. Scholes comes set. Kiki off, swing and a miss, strike 1.
Yeah, they're not going to get caught up in that mess again. They're going to let him go with a runner at third.
Swing and a miss by Fluitt, 0-1. I think he was looking for the hammer. He took a big cut at that one. But a good job of protecting the runner there. And now an 0-1 count to Fluitt. Runners on second and third. Scholes will come set in the stretch. The 0-1 pitch to Fluitt. Misses up and away, ball 1.
He had a wild pitch on warm-up, so.
And he had a costly one in the first inning. So Scholes, one thing he does, I think the Eagle hitters don't like, is that once he comes set in the stretch, he is very deliberate and slow to deliver the pitch to the plate.
Right.
And you want to try to get into a rhythm, and you cannot guess a rhythm of Scholes here. Kiki about 2 steps off the bag as Scholes spins and throws to second. Sandrea covering. Back in standing safely.
He kind of hops that left foot a couple of times. And
very deliberate motion is coming set,
right.
Like you said, to come set in that stretch. The 1-1 pitch to Fluitt. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Fluitt upset with himself there. So a 1-2 count now to David Fluitt with 2 outs and runners at second and third. I think I counted 5 that time, Dave.
no, it was 4. I counted. Yeah, 4? It was 4. Yeah, I was waiting for 5. I was like, is he going to go 5?
So that part of the deliberateness of his delivery to home plate is the methodical approach to coming set. The 1-2 pitch to Fluitt. Fluitt ground ball out towards second. Kiala to his left, fields it. The throw to first, not in time. Fluitt down the line, hustles.
Wow.
An infield single for David Fluitt. It's an RBI that scores Tate Ritchie for run number 5.
And the hustle is great because if he'd have gotten it out, that run wouldn't have mattered. So
Fluitt beats it out for an infield single. Are they going to give it? No. Let's see, they haven't ruled it yet on the board. I'm going to give it a hit because Fluitt beat it out. Kiala did nothing wrong.
It's a hit.
Well, they did give an error to the Cougars.
Okay.
But the run scores from third and Tate Ritchie for the 5th run of the ball game.
Umpire really likes those guys getting back over there. He motioned for him to move back again.
Hayden Groom steps in. 1 for 1 of the ball game. An RBI single in the first. Steps in here. Runners on the corners and 2 outs. First pitch, Grooms takes it high for ball 1.
That catcher was trying really hard to sell it.
Vigney Mesa did hold it a little bit longer, wanting that strike call. But that I think that is where we're finding the peak of that zone right now for this home plate umpire.
Right.
Here in the bottom of the second. 1-0 the count to Hayden Grooms. Fluitt leads off first. Kiki off third, to throw over to first. Fluitt dives back in safely. Dugout going well down the third baseline.
Thought I heard some crows. There you go.
There's some wildlife in that
sounded like
dugout.
I was at the deer stand in East Texas.
They'll get it going back. Scholes will come set. Fluid off first. Kiki off third. Grooms ready to go. The 1-0 pitch. Grooms pop fly right side. The right fielder, Pulgar, charges all the way in and
drops.
Misses it. That will fall. Kiki's in. Fluid all the way around for first. Grooms is going to make it all the way to third base. Two more runs on the board for two more on the board for Georgetown. It's now a 7-0 lead for the Eagles.
That's frustrating for Connally, as you've got some outfielding that is not going well. They're letting balls hit the grass, and that's just basic one-on-one stuff. You don't do that.
In steps Justin Soto with a 7-0 lead. A runner at third with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. They'll rule that an error as well on the right fielder, Pulgar, for an E9. Fluid all the way around from first to score.
He's gonna warn the. Get a little music warning there. Well, uh-oh, no! It's not us, Coach.
Coach Pierre
it's
looking
not
up
us.
at the press box on the PA side of it, not our side.
Not our
In
side.
steps Soto. The first pitch from Schultz with 2 outs. Ground ball hit down the third baseline, pulled foul. 0-1 the count to Justin Soto. Struck out in his first at bat back in the first inning. 0-for-1 in the ball game.
So what happens out of curiosity if the umpire says, "Hey, that's egregious" or whatever? You know, do you get?
It could go into a delay of game and then a warning. He could kick out a coach. It just
Gotcha.
It has to get pretty extreme, I would assume, before someone will get yanked off the computer before that happens. 0-1 pitch to Soto, blowing outside for ball one. 1-1 the count to the senior right fielder, Jaden Howell, the DH on deck.
Oh.
And now the chatter going again. Out of the third base dugout for Georgetown. Soto back in from the right side. Scholes will come set in the stretch. A 1-1 count with 2 outs. Then a runner at third. The 1-1 pitch. Outside corner called strike 2. 1-2 the count now to Soto. Eastview and Weiss playing in the district opener series this week, which should be a good battle between those two teams. So I tell you what, Eastview playing a tough schedule to start it out. On the season for district, their first series with Weiss, their second series. A crosstown rivalry with Georgetown. They'll be tested early in district play.
I'll tell you
Will
what,
the Patriots.
that's going to be a fun one. Don't miss it.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count to Soto. Scholes comes set in the stretch. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Soto down on strikes for out number 3. But not before Georgetown picks up 3 more runs. 3 runs on no hits, 2 errors, and 1 runner left on base. After 2 complete innings, Georgetown 7, Connally 0. Georgetown Eagle baseball continues in a moment. Back here at Eagle Field. We'll get it all figured out here in just a second. Hagen Tate goes to the mound for his 3rd inning of work. He'll face off against the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. First pitch misses for a ball. Luis Escobedo Romero, the DH, leads off here in the top of the third. The 1-0 pitch from Tate is high for ball 2. Andrew Camarino Aguilera, the third baseman, on deck. And Rooney Sandrea, shortstop, in the hole. The 2-0 pitch in there for a strike. 2-1 to count. 2-1 is in there for a strike. 2-2 now the count to Luis Escobedo Romero. Hagen Tate from the windup, first base side of the rubber. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Escobedo Romero down on strikes for out number 1.
Third baseman, Andrew Aguilera.
4th strikeout of the ball game for Hagen Tate. That'll bring up Andrew Camareno Aguilera for his first plate appearance in the ball game here in the top of the third. The number 9 hitter. Where's number 2? He'll step in from the right side. Hagen Tate from the windup, the first pitch. Up over the head as Camareno Aguilera ducks out of the way. 1-0 the count. 1-0 pitch misses for ball 2. 2-0 the count. So both batters so far in the inning. Hagen Tate's fallen behind. Came back to get Escobedo Romero on the strikeout for out number 1. The 2-0 pitch here. Outside corner called strike 1. 2-1 the count now. Camareno Aguilera. 27 pitches through 2 innings for Hagen Tate. The 2-1 pitch. In there for a called strike. Nice breaking ball there. And a 2-2 count now for Andrew Camareno Aguilera. 1 out here in the top of the third. Tate from the windup. The 2-2 pitch. Just misses for ball 3. Another breaking pitch. Camareno Aguilera held off. And he'll step back in here with a full count and 1 out. Rooney Sandrea, the shortstop, on deck. The payoff pitch. It's a foul ball. Should be a foul ball. First contact was with the bat. I'm surprised Coach Vieira's not out of the dugout here. They're going to say a hit by pitch. So Andrew Camareno Aguilera will go down to first base on the hit by pitch. Be the second batter hit by a pitch by Hagen Tate. So a base runner at first with 1 out. In the top of the lineup comes up Rooney Sandrea. 0 for 1 of the ball game. Grounded out to Luke Hawley to open up things in the top of the first. 4-3 on the ground out. Tate now from the stretch. Comes set. The first pitch to Rooney is in there for a called strike. Not much argument out of third base dugout from Coach Vieira there on that one, Dave. But it's one of those, if it hits the bat first, whether it hits him or not after that, it's a foul ball. But he gets the benefit of the hit by pitch.
And I think being up, 7-0, you probably pick your battles. I'm assuming.
I would tend to agree with that here.
Yeah.
0-2 the count now on the called strike. So Tate way ahead of Sandrea. With 1 out and a runner at first. Fluid holds on the runner at first. Tate will come set in the stretch. Throw over to first. Nice job of digging that one out of the turf by Fluid to keep that one from heading down the right field line. Good job by Soto there. He was on the move. Heading over to back up Fluid at first base from right field. A great scoop by Fluid at first base. 0-2 the count. Tate comes set in the stretch. Another throw over to first. Camareno Aguilera dives onto the tag safely. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here in the top of the third, 7-0. Georgetown leads it.
Some Sun City boosters in here.
The 0-2 pitch fouled off. Sandrea stays alive. Sun City boosters, the wave of blue. In every sport you can count on it, they will show up. Larry and Janice Ton in the crowd tonight. Some of our biggest supporters were in the booth with us in one of the football games, the Eastview game this football season. The 0-2 pitch sails high for ball 1 to Sandrea. Don't have anything to do the rest of the week. Got plenty of Georgetown baseball on tap. Tomorrow night, the coaches show at Camp Brightside, 7 p.m. Friday night at Connally High School, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock first pitch. Come join us live there at Connally High School. And then Saturday on the road at Marble Falls, a 1 p.m. start to the game against the Mustangs on the road. Then we'll get the weekend break and start right back over on Tuesday. Back home here against the Eastview Patriots. The coaches show will be on Wednesday night next week, with our game 2 of the series on Thursday night. The 1-2 pitch just misses low for ball 2. 2-2 the count now. To Rooney Sandra with 1 out and the runner at first. But then the weekend following, we'll have a break after the Eastview game 2 on Thursday, the 20th. No game on the 21st or the 22nd. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Rooney down on strikes for out number 2. 5th strikeout of the ball game for Hagen Tate. And with 2 outs and a runner at first, that'll bring up Ramon Pulgar, the right fielder. He was hit by a pitch and left stranded on first. Back in the first inning.
Nasty pitch that he chased.
Hagen Tate's breaking pitch.
Had to back that one up and watch that one from the angle.
First pitch here on the outside corner for a called strike to Pulgar. 0-1 the count. A comparison of 2 innings between the pitchers here, Dave. 27 pitches total in 2 innings for Hagen Tate. 53 by Antoine Scholes.
Not including the throws over the throwdowns and.
Oh yeah. No balls, 1 strikes to Pulgar with 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd. Tate comes set in the stretch. The 0-1 pitch. Ground ball to 3rd. Hayden Grooms waits for the high hop, throws across the diamond and not in time. A slow hopper. It took a high bounce and Grooms had to wait for it to come down. Grabs it and fires a rocket across the diamond. But Pulgar motors down the line and beats it out. So now runners on first and second. I would assume that's going to be an infield single. It is. First hit of the ball game. Credited to Connally. As Pulgar, great hustle down the line to beat that out. Not much else you can do from Grooms there. If he charges it, he's going to have to jump and try to fill the high hop at its peak.
Right.
And then throw on the run or on off balance. Waits for it and then throws a rocket. But Pulgar got down the line to beat it out for the infield single. Runners on first and second. In steps Daniel Dorvikny Mesa, the catcher. Reached on a base on balls back in the first inning. First pitch to Mesa. Doesn't chase, lets it go low for ball 1 on the breaking ball.
And, it gives you opportunities. Either the pitcher could handle business at the plate or you got infield that can do some stuff here with the 2 guys on. So you got opportunities to get this start out.
Pulgar gets a very big lead down at first base with Connor Young behind the plate.
Right.
And you have a right-handed hitter, so Connor Young has a clear line of sight and the ability to throw down to first if possible. The 1-0 pitch, and he does it again, but Fluid didn't close on that one. Connor Young kind of looks towards the dugout like it was called. So a 2-0 count now to Dorvikny Mesa.
Well, he stands on notice.
I don't think that lead gets as big this time. As Connor Young not afraid to throw down. And now Pulgar shortens that lead. Tate comes set. The 2-0 pitch. Line drive hit out to short. Past the diving Kiki into left field. Tate Ritchie up with it. The throw's going to come towards the plate. It's not cut off. The throw at home. Tagged him out!
Wow!
Oh, baby! Tate Ritchie hoses Camareno Aguilera at the plate.
And the cutoff thought about it. He's like, nope, it's going straight to the.
And a great job by the infielder to not touch it when the catcher let it go. And Tate Ritchie throws out Camareno Aguilera from left field to end the inning and cut the run from scoring.
What an arm.
So a base hit there recorded for Dorvikny Mesa to left field. But on the play to end the out, it's 7-2 on the putout to get the runner Camareno Aguilera at the plate for out number 3. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. After 2.5 innings, 7-0, Georgetown leads it. Eagle baseball continues in a moment. here to the bottom of the third. It'll be umpire waiting for that music to stop again. Jaden Howell, Cooper Thomas, Tate Ritchie. Due up here in the bottom of the third for Georgetown. Antoine Scholes on for his third inning of work. Set from the stretch. The first pitch to Jaden Howell. Misses high for ball one. Howell one for one of the night. A 2 RBI double in the first inning. Came around to score a run as well. He stole home on the hot box by Cooper Thomas as he was in the pickle between first and second. The 1-0 pitch to Howell. Takes it on the outside corner for a called strike. 1-1 they count. Scholes through 2 innings of work has given up. Says 2 hits for the Eagles, 7 runs. On 2 hits. 4 errors by the Cougars. Howell back in, the 1-1 pitch from Scholes. Fouled off, back out of play down the third baseline. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count now to the senior DH.
Challenge for Scholes, too, is because you've got this tall batter. You've got it's a different kind of a strike zone than you might be used to. So he's having to pitch it up more.
And Howell doing a good job of protecting it from top to bottom in the zone. Scholes comes set, 1 ball, 2 strike count. Howell ready from the left side, the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball misses outside for ball 2. 2-2 the count now to Jaden Howell. Leading off things here in the bottom of the third for Georgetown with a 7-0 lead. If you're just joining us, Tate Ritchie guns out Camarino Aguilera at home to end the top of the third on a base hit by Daniel Dorvigny Mesa. Camarino Aguilera tried to score from second and was hosed out at home by Ritchie. 2-2 pitch down to the turf for ball 3. 3-2 now the count. So a full count to Jaden Howell leading off here in the bottom of the third. 7 runs on 2 hits, 3 or 4 errors on the Cougars. 53 pitches coming into the inning by Scholes. Scholes comes set in the stretch. The payoff pitch to Howell. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Howell down on strikes looking for out number 1. 4th strikeout of the night for Scholes. And in steps Cooper Thomas, center fielder. He's 0 for 0 in the ballgame. Reached on a walk, was caught stealing. To end the first, 2-6 on the caught stealing by the catcher, Dorvigny Mesa. Steps in here with the bases empty and 1 out in the bottom of the third. Scholes will come set in the stretch. First pitch fouled off back to the screen. 0-1 the count to Thomas. An update from JV.
14-0, just finished bottom of the third.
14-0. JV looking to go 10-0. Stay undefeated on the season. Over at Connally High School tonight. They'll play at home on Friday. Scholes will step up. Looking at his catcher and get reset. No balls, 1 strike with 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Base is empty. Cooper Thomas. Now Scholes steps off again. And now he's going to ask for time. And now a conversation is where Vigny Mesa, the catcher, and Sandrea, the shortstop, joined Scholes on the mound. That is the dugout, bringing you the Jeopardy theme song. So I'm not sure what the
the catcher's reacting to their commentary. He's looking over there. They're getting to him.
Scholes now in the stretch will come set. Cooper Thomas ready. The 0-1 pitch. This is outside, ball 1. Dorvigny Mesa constantly looking over at the Georgetown dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike to count to Thomas. 1 out, and the base is empty here in the bottom of the third. 7-0 lead for your Georgetown Eagles. As Scholes comes set in the stretch. The 1-1 pitch to Thomas. Cooper fouls it off back to the net for strike 2. 1-2 the count. On deck, the left fielder, Tate Ritchie. $26-0. The freshman won it at Connally tonight. The JV leads at 14-0. Georgetown varsity leads at 7-0 here in the bottom of the third. Scholes comes set. The 1-2 pitch to Thomas. Breaking pitch fouled off. Thomas stays alive. Fights off the curveball. 1-2 the count to the sophomore center fielder, Cooper Thomas. Thomas back in for the right side. Shows a long look in. Gets the sign from his catcher. Comes set in the stretch. The 1-2 pitch. Thomas lays off and takes it for ball 2. 2-2 now the count.
Sorry.
It's a jungle over there in the third base dugout. This is wonderful. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To Cooper Thomas. 1 out here in the bottom of the third. The base is empty for Georgetown. Scholes comes set in the stretch. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Scholes strikes out. Second batter in a row. His 5th strikeout of the ball game. Now 2 outs and the base is empty. In steps the left fielder, Tate Ritchie. Reached on a base on balls back in the second inning. Came around to score a run. Defensively gets one of the Blue Stars. He throws out Camareno Aguilera at home to end the top of the third. Keep a run off the board for the Cougars. Ritchie in from the right side. Scholes comes set in the stretch. The first pitch to Tate. Breaking pitch in there for a called strike. 0-1 to count.
Two-out rally.
That's when Georgetown likes to do damage. Ritchie ready to go as Scholes comes set in the stretch. The 0-1 pitch to Ritchie. That one skips in about 3 feet short for ball 1.
Got to think with his pitch count, he might be starting to wear down a little bit. Just watching him warm up and stuff, he's getting a little more erratic.
Next pitch will be the 68th of the night for Antoine Scholes here in the bottom of the third. Scholes gets the sign and comes set in the stretch. The 1-1 pitch to Tate Ritchie.
That one looked like it was meant to be on the inside.
Flies past the catcher, Dorvigny Mesa to the backstop. 2-1 the count now to Tate Ritchie. Luke Holly, the second baseman, on deck for the Eagles. Ritchie back in from the right side. Shows the long look in. Scholes finally comes set in the stretch. The 2-1 pitch to Ritchie. Misses outside for ball 3. So now at the 70 pitch mark through 3 innings, how long this early in the season does Colhane go with?
In the last 3 pitches have been the catcher's having to go way out there to get it, and he's not ready for it. I think he's trying to get something on the inside corner, and that catcher's having to go way to the outside. So a little erratic right now.
Vigny Mesa setting up on that inside part of the plate. The 3-1 pitch. It misses for ball 4 as Vigny Mesa holds it. And now you're just showing up the umpire at that point. You just let that one go and zing it back to your pitcher. As now Vigny Mesa looks back at the umpire.
Yeah, that's
Ritchie now down at first base after back-to-back plate appearances with walks. Four walks now in the ball game for Scholes as Luke Holly steps in. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game as he reached on an error. Then was doubled off at second base on the line drive. Caught by Sandrea and then stepping on the back to double up off Holly. Ritchie leads off first. The first pitch to Luke. Stails high for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Holly. Jack Kiki waits on deck. Should Holly reach base here with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Ritchie leads off first, held on by Arispe. Scholes looks in, gets the sign, and comes set in the stretch. The 1-0 pitch, Ritchie off and running. Pitch on the outside corner, called a strike. Ritchie slides in safely with a stolen base. But the count evens up 1-1 to Luke Holly. Good jump there by Tate Ritchie. And now Luke Holly, a 1-1 count with a runner in scoring position here in the bottom of the third with 2 outs. A base hit will score Ritchie from second. 4 runs in the first, 3 in the second. No runs across here in the bottom of the third for Georgetown as Holly back in from the right side. Scholes comes set in the stretch. A look at second base. Ritchie leads off the 1-1 pitch. Holly fouls it off, back out of play over the clamshell, and the count's 1 ball and 2 strikes now to the senior second baseman, Luke Holly. One of those hitters you love to have in this spot. Ability to drive a ball to all parts of the field.
Hit it right for that Eagles sign. A lot of room out there.
Center fielder Lobato Ramirez playing way over towards right field. Now Scholes will turn towards second. No throw as Sandrea had drifted back towards shortstop. So we'll reset. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the third, Tate Ritchie on at second base. Holly back in from the right side as Scholes comes set in the stretch. A look back at second base. The 1-2 pitch. Holly ground ball pulled down the third baseline, just foul.
If he hits the beak of that Eagle, it could be an infield home run. That's my prediction.
An inside the park home run?
Yeah. Sorry.
Very possible. With
Just
Luke's speed?
Maybe it drops about 15 feet before that beak. He's rounding the bases.
and then hits one of the rivets of the wall.
And then he does the
Kicks
slide.
sideways. He's been made aware. 1-2 the count. Scholes comes set. A look at second base. The 1-2 pitch. Luke pulls it foul down the third baseline.
I mean, it's not like we have, in-helmet mics or anything, and he's listening to us up here. So
That would not be good. Coach Pierre would not be happy with that.
No.
1-2 remains the count after Holly fouls off a couple of pitches.
I mean, a fireman and a cop giving him advice on where to hit the ball.
But still, you got to play
weird.
this game. 1-2 now. Holly ready to go. Scholes comes set in the stretch. A look at Tate Ritchie at second base. The 1-2 pitch. Down in the turf. Ritchie will stay put at second base. The count now 2-2. But another inning where the Eagles are seeing lots of pitches from Scholes, even with 2 quick strikeouts. Both of those counts went 3-2. One went 2-2 with a foul ball. And so every batter seeing multiple pitches from Scholes. Drive that pitch count up. Scholes comes set in the stretch. A look at Ritchie at second. The 2-2 pitch to Luke Holly. Low and away. Ritchie takes off. The throw down to third. Gets past. It'll be a throwing error on the catcher, Norvigny Mesa. Give the stolen base to Tate Ritchie. But he'll come around on the error.
All right, taps the base just in case.
We'll make it 8-0. And that count goes full now to Luke Holly. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The base is now empty as the Eagles proceed to put up another run with 2 outs here in the ballgame.
What's the run rule?
10 after 5. So
Okay.
2 runs short of being in the position to run rule are the Eagles with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Base is empty. Holly in from the right side. Scholes ready to go from the stretch. The payoff pitch. Low and outside, ball 4. A 2-out walk puts Holly down to first base. 5th walk of the ball game by Antoine Scholes, and that'll bring up Jack Kiki. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. And now here comes Coach Culhane for a visit, and he may go to the bullpen. We'll take a timeout. Georgetown Eagle baseball will continue in a moment. Back live here at Eagle Field. A change for the
Andrew Camarino Aguilera.
Connally Cougars. We'll bring up the defensive setup now. Camarino Aguilera moves from third base to the mound. Antoine Scholes goes from the mound to third base. Everything else stays the same, with Gomez Hernandez in left, Lobato Ramirez in center, Polgar in right. Just the change from third and pitcher for the Cougars. And in steps Jack Kiki with 2 outs and a runner at first base. So Andrew Camarino Aguilera. Andrew comes set in the stretch. Holly leads off first. The first pitch is low. Holly's going to take off for second. And the steal. A throwing error by Dorvigny Mesa as he throws it into center field. It'll be a stolen base for Holly down to second and advances to third on the error. Second error of the inning on the catcher. 6th of the ball game for the Cougars. And now 2 outs with a 1-0 count to Kiki and a runner at third.
You got to think our pitchers got to be staying warm too. These long innings.
Hagan Tate, maybe, yeah, we can't see down to the bullpen. The 1-0 pitch misses low for ball 2. But Tate could be in there just soft tossing, keeping that arm warm, because he's only thrown for 3 innings. A total 39 pitches, 49 pitches. The 2-0 pitch down low on Kiki for ball 3. Good block there by the catcher Mesa to keep it in front of him, but a 3-0 count now for the junior shortstop Jack Kiki. 0 for 1 in the ball game. A 2-base error, reached second base in the first, scored the first run of the ball game, hit by a pitch and scored a run in the second. The 3-0 pitch misses low and outside, ball 4, and a 4-pitch walk to start out.
It was all 2 outs when all this started.
Absolutely.
It's crazy how Georgetown does it like that sometimes.
2 quick outs on 2 strikeouts to start the inning by Scholes.
And we do our best damage under pressure.
So now in steps number 23. That's Connor Young, the catcher. Connor 0 for 2 in the ball game. Struck out in the first. Lined out to second, or to short. In the second inning, he's 0 for 2. Steps in here with runners on the corners. And 2 outs in the bottom of the third, an 8-0 lead. Young steps in from the left side. Camarino Aguilera comes set in the stretch. Throw over to first base, and a good scoop by Arispe there. That's going to be another run, if not 2.
Lucky he didn't get past him.
Because the right fielder, Polgar, is way out in right field. Not far from the fence, and that one would have got past Arispe.
Not far from the center fielder.
Yeah, it would have been a run fest for Georgetown. Kiki off and running. The first pitch in there for a called strike. Throw down to third behind Holly. But Holly only about 3 feet off the bat. Gets back safely. The stolen base there for Kiki. His third of the ball game.
I think that was more just for effect. I don't think Scholes was quite ready to defend third base there.
So now Connor Young with a no ball, 1 strike count. Takes this one in. Oh, my. Surprising call of strike there. Almost hit Connor Young on the line of the batter's box, but instead it's 0-2 count now to Connor Young. So now he's got to defend with 2 outs and runners on second and third. Camarino Aguilar from the windup, the 0-2 pitch, breaking pitch, fouled off. Connor Young does a good job there of staying alive. Count remains no balls, 2 strikes. Two fastballs from Camarino Aguilera, and then the changeup there off speed. And Young did a good job of staying with it, fouling it off, and keeping the at-bat alive. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runners at second and third. Camarino Aguilar from the windup, the 0-2 pitch. Breaking pitch, Connor Young yanks it foul. Past a scooting out of the way, David Durrell. So Connor Young battling here with an 0-2 count, a couple of foul balls, but still alive in the at-bat. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Camarino Aguilar from the windup, the 0-2 pitch. Breaking pitch, Connor Young fouls it off.
Good battle.
Great battle here, especially when he got behind 0-2 in the count. Now 3 balls fouled off, staying alive. Connor Young battling here. Pace hit, scores 2, and makes it a 10-0 ball game. So an opportunity here for Georgetown to open it up. Camareno Aguilar will step off and reset. Works from the windup with runners on second and third and 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. On in relief to face Connor Young, the 0-2 pitch. Misses for ball 1. 1-2 now the count.
That almost unraveled his shoelaces.
That was not far off the tops of them. 1-2 the count to Young. From the windup, the 1-2 pitch.
There
Connor
it is.
Young, base hit into center field. He's going to drop. Holly scores from third. Kiki around third. He's headed home, and he'll score standing up. And it's a 2 RBI double for the sophomore, Connor Young. 10-0, Georgetown leads it. What a great pace of hitting from the sophomore catcher. Had an 0-2 count, works it to 1-2 after several foul balls, and then lines a double to center field. And here comes Tillman Brown in to run for the catcher, Connor Young. As you hear Coach Jordan Vieira yell out, courtesy runner for your catcher. 2 RBI double there for Connor Young. Kiki scores from second, Holly from third, and it's 10-0 Georgetown. One of those runs charged to Scholes. Kiki charged to Camareno Aguilar. Fluid fouls off the breaking pitch. 0-1 to count.
Almost like a little indecision on that swing there, whether or not he really wanted to go for it.
Camareno Aguilar from the stretch. Fluid line drive to center field. But Lobato Ramirez is there to make the catch. I think he only had to take about 1 or 2 steps and makes the catch for out number 3. But not before Georgetown picks up 3 more runs on 1 hit, 2 errors, and 1 runner left on base. After 3 complete, Georgetown 10, Connally 0. Eagle baseball continues after this. Back here to the top of the 4th we go, and Hagen Tate on for his 4th inning of work. 49 pitches thrown through 3 innings. Tate has allowed 2 hits, struck out 5, hit 2, walked 1. It works here. To the 4, 5, and 6 hitters.
Beautiful fastball.
First pitch strike to Antoine Scholes, who's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Oh, and 1 the count to Scholes from the windup. Tate's 0-1 pitch. Just misses for ball 1. 1-1 the count now. Scholes struck out swinging to end the 1st inning. Scholes now the 3rd baseman. The 1-1 pitch from Tate. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 1-2 the count now to Antoine Scholes. Scholes, Gomez Hernandez, and Arizpe due up here in the top of the 4th. 1-2 pitch. Fooled him with the breaking pitch. Strikeout swinging for out number 1 by Antoine Scholes. Sixth strikeout in the ball game for Hagen Tate.
Hernandez.
And here comes Josue Gomez Hernandez, the left fielder, grounded out to second base. Back in the second inning, is 0 for 1 in the ball game. Tate from the first base side of the rubber from the windup. First pitch, outside corner, called strike one. Pumping the gas there on that first pitch, and what a beautiful location. Tough spot to go hit it, and he puts it right on that outside corner for the strike one to Gomez Hernandez. The 0-1 pitch from Tate. Swing and a miss. Strike two is now he changes it up.
He's throwing an interesting combination
And
of balls there.
How tough is that?
That's
You
fun.
go from the outside corner to the inside part of the plate and just pumping the gas. 0-2 the pitch. Misses down low.
Trying to get him to chase it.
1-2 the count. Just when you think he would go with the breaking pitch, he comes with another heater, but down low. The 1-2 pitch from Tate. Just misses low. Ball two. 2-2 now the count to Josue Gomez Hernandez, the left fielder. From the right side, Gomez Hernandez ready to go. Hagen Tate from the windup. Gets the sign, the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. Back-to-back strikeouts for the first 2 outs of the inning. 7th strikeout of the ball game for Hagen Tate.
Diego Arispe.
And Arispe will step in. He's the first baseman. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Struck out looking back in the second inning. One of the 7 strikeout victims of Hagen Tate. Tate from the windup, the first pitch to Arispe. Misses low and outside, ball one. 17 pitches in the first, 10 in the second, 22 in the third. When he gave up his first 2 hits. This one up and in, off the glove of Connor Young to the backstop. 2-0 the count now to Arispe. But did defensive help? We talked about it in the first inning, Dave. You got the help from the pickoff from Connor Young. You got that help from your defense to get out of trouble. And then in the top of the third, Tate Ritchie with a throw out from left field to Connor Young at the plate to cut the run down at home for the third out. 2-0 pitch fouled off the mask of Connor Young for strike one. 2-1 to count.
You kind of feel like he's settled into the game a little bit, and he's doing a little bit more work on the plate and not maybe leaning as much on the defense.
But you got to think his comfort level's got to be settling in with that defense making plays behind him.
Right.
The 2-1 pitch fouled off the mask of the umpire. 2-2 now. I'm making sure both the catcher and the umpire's mask are working well. And now a 2-2 count here with 2 outs and the base is empty in the top of the fourth. Arispe step back in for the right side. We'll get to have a chat about that with Hagen Tate tomorrow night at the coaches show. What a filthy pitch on a 2-2. The breaking pitch on the inside corner called strike three. And Hagen Tate strikes out the side here in the top of the fourth. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on after 3.5. It's 10-0 Georgetown. Eagle baseball returns in just a moment. Back here live, Eagle Field. And the pinch hitter here for the Georgetown Eagles stepping in to bat. The right-hitting senior, number 18, Ryan Castilleja, will step in to lead things off for Georgetown. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning, Camareno Aguilera will start the inning. Came on to relief with 2 outs in the 3rd. First pitch, a breaking ball, misses low and outside for ball 1. So, hitting in the number 4 slot is Castilleja in place of Grooms. 1-0 the count. 1-0 pitch. Outside corner, called strike 1. 1-1 the count now to Castilleja. Castilleja, another member of this Georgetown Eagle baseball team that's committed to play at the next level. Will go to Wiley College and NAIA school. Continuing his baseball career and education. Camareno Aguilar from the windup, the 1-1 pitch. Fouled off, back to the screen as you heard it hit near the microphone. 1-2 the count now to Castilleja. Starting center on the Georgetown Eagle football team this season. Another 2-sport athlete here at Georgetown. One ball, 2 strikes, the count now to Castilleja. Camareno Aguilar from the windup, the 1-2 pitch. That one just short of the plate. Down in the turf for ball 2, 2-2 the count. On deck, another pinch hitter. Looks to be number 9, Colton Crutchfield, the senior right-handed hitter. Will hit in the place of Justin Soto. Castilleja back in from the right side, but Camareno Aguilar will step off and reset with 2-2. Here at the at-bat with no outs. The 2-2 pitch. Outside corner, called strike 3. A nice pitch there. And a change from Camareno Aguilar. I don't know if anyone saw it there. The slide step out of the windup, not the high knee kick. It changes the pace of the delivery of the pitch and just changes what you're used to seeing. And a great effort there. Gets the strikeout called on Castilleja for out number 1.
I did not see that. That's why you're calling baseball.
Big strikeout there to start the inning. And in steps Colton Crutchfield, the senior outfielder. Hits from the right side, number 9. Crutchfield steps in, ready to go. First pitch misses low for ball 1 to Colton Crutchfield. Right there, Camareno right back to the high knee kick on the delivery, but just changes the pace of the delivery. The pitch comes out of his hand quicker with that slide step, and it deceives that hitter, makes it tough to pick up the pitch and the velocity it's coming at. 1-0 the count to Crutchfield. Fouled off the mask of the catcher. Just shake his head as the umpire will walk that one out to the mound. Let the catcher gather himself. 1-1 the count now to Crutchfield on deck.
Is he talking to him about his delivery?
I don't know. Letting Dorvigny Mesa shake it off. He got the cobwebs cleaned out there off of that hard foul ball off his mask. On deck, another pinch hitter is number 21, Braden Curtin. A right-handed hitting junior will hit in the slot for Jaden Howell. The 1-1 pitch to Crutchfield. Breaking pitch, nice one. It took its time getting in there. What a breaking pitch that was from Camareno Aguilera. 1-2 now the count to Crutchfield.
Do you remember that one year we had a pitch day? Somebody put in an extra pitcher, and he was throwing it so slow. That's what that one looked like, so slow.
The 1-2 pitch. Another breaking pitch. Crutchfield gets a hold of it, drives it down the left field line. The left fielder, Gomez Hernandez,
Foul ball.
settles under it, but it hits off of him in foul territory.
And again, not able to make the catch to get the out.
And it keeps the at-bat alive for Crutchfield with a 1-2 count. And those are, the thing is, that doesn't go down to the book as an error, but a costly, now say Crutchfield gets on, a run is driven in later, and he gets, it's a costly mistake that you just got to cut out. It's got to be cut out to help give your team a fighting chance, but a costly mistake there by Gomez Hernandez. So Colton Crutchfield stays alive in the at-bat. 1 ball, 2 strikes, with 1 out, and the base is empty here in the bottom of the 4th. The Eagles can hold this lead after the top of the fifth. The ball game will end on a run roll. The 1-2 pitch. Crutchfield flies ball, hit into right field. Second baseman Kiala back, but it's over his head. It bounces. Crutchfield running the whole time.
Crutchfield
and
had
motors into second.
I think at this point, Crutchfield had plenty of confidence that that ball was going to drop. If you're watching those two kids out there in the outfield, you really get the feeling that it's fixing to drop.
It's a double there for Crutchfield as he hustled that double. Kiala was playing up about 5 steps on the from the outfield grass, and that was about 20 steps behind him, unable to get to it. The center fielder, Lobato Ramirez, unable to get there in time. So a 1-out double by Crutchfield brings up Brayton Curtin, the junior right-handed hitter. First pitch to Curtin misses for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Brayton Curtin. Pinch hitter here in spot for Jaden Howe. On deck, Cooper Thomas for the Eagles. Curtin from the right side, ready to go. Camarino Aguilera from the stretch. The 1-0 pitch. Breaking pitch. Skips short of the plate. Crutchfield will stay put. 2-0 the count now to Curtin. Camarino Aguilera came on a relief in the bottom of the third. Continues work here in the bottom of the fourth for the Cougars. 2-0 the count to Curtin. Crutchfield down at second base after a 1-out double. The 2-0 pitch. That's in there for a called strike one. 2-1 the count now. To Brayton Curtin. Curtin back in, ready from the right side. Camarino Aguilera comes set in the stretch. A look at second base. The 2-1 pitch. This is low for ball 3. 3-1 the count now. To Curtin with Cooper Thomas on deck. 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. 10-0 your score. Georgetown leads it. Curtin back ready to go. Camarino Aguilera. The long look in. Shakes one off. Shakes another one off. Not sure how many he has to shake off, but he keeps shaking them, and now he'll step off and reset. Now everyone gets set again. Crutchfield off second base. Curtin in from the right side, ready to go. Camarino Aguilera comes set in the stretch. A look at second base. The 3-1 pitch misses way outside for ball 4. And a 1-out walk has runners at first and second now for the Eagles.
Eagles get the win for dress and deportment tonight. I love these unis that they're wearing, the stripes. Kind of looks like the Yankees, you know.
And a rule they have, just like the New York Yankees, is clean shaven, no facial hair. Not a big fan of that rule, but I'm old, so I don't care. I have a beard and will not shave it off.
Yeah.
Runners on first and second. The first pitch to Thomas. Skips in low for ball 1. Thomas 0 for 1 in the ball game. Walked in the first, struck out in the third. Stands in here with 1 out. Runners on first and second. Colton Crutchfield a 1-out double. Down at second base, Brayton Curtin the walk. Leads off first. A 1-0 pitch to Thomas. Fouled off the right side wall on the backstop. 1-1 the count now. To the sophomore center fielder. Tate Ritchie waits on deck for the Eagles. And even in a game like this, you hear it in the crowd, Mike. Coach Vieira still coaching his team up 10-0 in the bottom of the fourth. Right. Talking to his batter. Work the pitch. Work that pitch. If it's outside, drive it to the right side of the field. You love to see that, using every opportunity to coach these players up. Mm-hmm. The 1-1 pitch to Thomas. Skips in, low and outside. Ball 2.
Definitely trying to stay away from the batter.
Don't want to give Thomas anything in his wheelhouse. Hit his first varsity home run a couple of weeks ago in San Antonio in the tournament down there. Has the power to get the ball out of here. So anything in his wheelhouse, you can bet it has a chance to get a ride from Cooper. The 2-1 pitch. That went up and away for ball 3. 3-1 now the count. Sighting of Coach Vieira comes out of the dugout. Now they're talking with Coach Payne. Going to see Coach Vieira getting up, moving around. 3 balls, 1 strike to Thomas. Camareno Aguilera comes set, the 3-1 pitch. Ball hit out towards second. Kiala up with it, drops it. It'll be another error, and that'll load the bases full of Eagles now with 1 out. Is the freshman second baseman.
Coming to bat, Tate Ritchie.
Bobbles that one. Crutchfield up to third, Curtin to second. And Cooper Thomas on to to first base with the error, and in steps Tate Ritchie. In 2 plate appearances, he's walked 2 times, scored 2 runs. Couple of stolen bases. Ritchie in from the right side. Camareno Aguilera will go from the windup now with the bases full of Eagles. The first pitch to Ritchie. Slow breaking ball, stays high for ball 1.
I think they've seen enough pitches now. They kind of have an idea of what to expect out of this pitcher. These guys pick up on this stuff real fast.
Jalen Hunter, pinch hit in the 9-hole for Luke Holly. 1-0 pitch in there for a called strike to Tate Ritchie. 1-1 the count. They do a good job of watching, paying attention to Camareno Aguilera and his delivery and his pitches, and they talk to each other.
Yeah, they're not standing around picking their noses.
1-1 the count to Ritchie, the 1-1 pitch. Outside corner, called strike 2. Georgetown baseball having a good night so far. 26-0. The freshmen win it. 17-0. The JV beats the Connally Cougars. 10-0 lead here for Georgetown at home. A 1-2 pitch, breaking pitch, misses low and outside for ball 2. 2-2 the count now to Tate Ritchie. Jalen Hunter on deck.
Did you say 14-0?
Is it 14-0? I
Yeah,
said 17.
they won 14-0.
14-0.
Yep.
26-0, 14-0. It's a 10-0 lead here. The 2-2 pitch. Ritchie lays off, and it's high through the zone.
Sorry, you're right. 17-0. I don't know where I got 14. That was the previous score.
Then they got 3 more.
Yeah.
17-0. The JV wins it. 26-0. Freshman won it tonight over at Connally. Georgetown leads it 10-0 here in the bottom of the 4th. Bases loaded with 1 out. A full count to Tate Ritchie. Camareno Aguilera from the windup. The payoff pitch to Ritchie. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 for out number 2. Second strikeout for Camareno Aguilera.
The Eagles, Jalen Hunter.
And that'll bring up Jalen Hunter, the junior right infielder pitcher. Bats from the right side. Steps in here from the right side with the bases loaded full of Eagles with 2 outs now. First pitch to Hunter. He's in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count to Hunter. On deck moves another pinch hitter. Number 3, Weston Lane waits on deck. Should Hunter reach base? The 0-1 pitch. That breaking pitch is in there for a called strike. 0-2 now the count to Hunter. Camareno Aguilera there. Nice back-to-back pitches. Fastball in there right down the pipe for strike 1, and then that breaking pitch. Takes its time getting in there, and it hit across the plate for the called strike. 0-2 the count to Hunter. The 0-2 pitch. Breaking pitch misses. Dorvigny Mesa wanted to take off running.
Getting an Emmy for trying to sell it.
Salesman in the future right there. Dorvigny Mesa doing a great job.
Like a soccer flop.
Behind the plate, but just trying to sell that called strike. Almost got it there. 1-2 the count to Jalen Hunter. Camareno Aguilera from the windup, the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And the 4th inning comes to a close on 3 strikeouts. The Cougars do a good job there of not giving up any runs in between those 3 strikeouts from Camareno Aguilera. At the end of 4, 10-0, Georgetown leads it over the Cougars. 3 outs away from a run rule victory if they can hold the Cougars in the top of the 5th. Eagle baseball continues in a moment. live here at Eagle Field. We go to the top of the 5th. It'll be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. First pitch from Hagen Tate to Kenny Labata Ramirez is high for ball 1. Labata Ramirez 0 for 1 in the ball game on a strikeout back in the 2nd inning. The 1-0 pitch in there for a called strike, 1-1.
He likes leading off with a strike.
The 1-1 pitch from Tate. Sails high. Ball 0-2, 2-1 to count. To Labata Ramirez. Labrada Ramirez. I missed the R. I apologize. Labrada Ramirez, the 2-1 pitch. Inside corner, called strike 2. Now Hagen Tate from the windup, the 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Nice pitch there from Hagen Tate. That's his 9th strikeout of the ball game. 4 batters in a row down on strikes. And that'll bring up Luis Escobedo Romero, the designated hitter. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Struck out back in the 3rd inning. Steps in here with 1 out and the base is empty. First pitch from Tate. In there for a called strike. Tate just rearing back and bringing heat now here in the top of the 5th. Trying to close this out. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 0-2 the count. To Luis Escobedo Romero, the designated hitter. The 0-2 pitch. Misses high for ball 1. 1-2 the count. 1 out. Base is empty here in the top of the 5th. The 1-2 pitch from Tate. In there. Called strike 3. 10th strikeout of the ball game for Hagen Tate. As he strikes out, Escobedo Romero looking for out number 2.
For the Cougars, Andrew
That'll bring up
Camareno
the number 9
Aguilera.
hitter, number 2, Andrew Camareno Aguilera. Two outs. The base is empty here in the top of the 5th. An out away from a run rule victory. First pitch, up and away, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch from Hagen Tate. Swing and a miss, strike 1. 1-1 the count. The 1-1 pitch. Breaking pitch in there for a called strike. 1-2 the count.
Wow.
Camareno Aguilera gave up thinking it was going to hit him, and that breaking ball came back in the inside of the plate.
I gotta watch that one again.
The 1-2 pitch. Strike 3. Hagen Tate strikes out the side to end the ball game for consecutive innings. Finishes the night with 11 strikeouts. Went the whole way, 5 innings, allowed 2 hits, hit 2 batters, walked 1, struck out 11, and struck out the side in the 4th and the 5th innings to win it here over the Connally Cougars. 10-0, your Eagles win it over Connally. They go to 1-0 in district play. Tomorrow night, Coach Vieira will join us on the Eagle Nation Coaches Show live from Camp Brightside, 7 p.m. Come join us. We'll have a freshman JV Players of the Week and a couple of varsity players, along with Coach Vieira to talk Eagle baseball before Friday night's ball game over at Connally High School at 7 p.m. We'll take a quick time out. When we come back, we'll visit with Coach Vieira down on the field. Eagle baseball continues in a moment. We're back live here at Eagle Field. The Eagles victorious 10-0 in the season opener district play here at home, or the home opener on district opening night. 53-0. The win total tonight for Eagle baseball against the Connally Cougars. 26-0, 17-0, 10-0. I think it goes to this pitching performance by Hagen Tate tonight. 11 strikeouts, 5 innings, only 2 hits, and a beautiful play by Tate Ritchie to keep the 0 on the board.
Yeah, Hagen did a phenomenal job. He filled up the strike zone. He was able to execute pitches when he needed to execute pitches and just be in the strike zone a ton. Did a great job. Defense played well. So defensive and pitching is right where we need to be, and then obviously the timely hitting and being able to get on base and getting the knocks we need to get them.
Coming off some big challenging games in the tournaments, playing some big schools like Rockwall Heath, Rockwall, Prosper, to get this team in that mindset back in the winning ways. How big is an opening home victory like this to start off the district play, knowing you got another game on Friday night, Saturday, and then a big series next week?
Yeah, no, the guys have stayed bought in the entire time. They haven't wavered at all about what we've been asking them to do. We obviously haven't had the result that we wanted until tonight, but it's good to get that first dub in district out of the way and set us on the trajectory where we need to be.
A big victory. Georgetown goes to 1-0 in district. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Get to talk to this guy.
We'll be there.
Camp Brightside. We'll bring you the Eagle Nation Coaching Show live from Camp Brightside. The Eagles win it 10-0. Congrats, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Eagles move to 1-0 in district to start off the district winning way, the way they want it to be. I'll stay put so I don't get in trouble. I apologize. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Camp Brightside. Come join us. We'll have some dinner. We'll talk Freshman Player of the Week, JV Player of the Week, and 2 of your varsity stars, along with Coach Vieira, as we discuss Eagle baseball live from Camp Brightside. But then Friday night, back over at Connally High School. Come join us. The Eagles play in district play on Friday night at 7 p.m. from Connally High School. Thanks for joining us tonight. For Dave England, for Jerry and Harmon, I'm Wally Harmon. First Responder Broadcasting brings you everything Georgetown Eagles sports live here on the SHN Sports Network. I got you, Braden Rogers. Eagles enjoy the win tonight. Remember, it doesn't cost you a dime to be kind. Have a good night, everybody.